Hello everybody, back in again. I got a couple of nickel boxes here that I'm going to be opening up, and as you see, it's quite a bit of glue on there, so it might take a little while to open these up. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and jump into them, and got my helper here today. So anyhow, let me break into them, and I'll bring you in whenever I find something. Well, I'm about half the box down, and I found a really interesting find. So this one here is a 1973 nickel. Now it looks like it was almost hit with a hammer, and I thought it was too the first time I glanced at it, but when I flipped it over, it's got some lamination there on top there. But what got me was, you see America is backwards on the top portion up there, so this would have to have been a die clash somehow. I mean, it's got the E pluribus unums on top there, and then two on the front side here, I was looking and I could see it on the regular eyesight. I need to adjust this. My daughter was playing with it for a little bit. Actually, I may be able to get it in there without it. Where's it at? Let me adjust it a little bit. So you can actually see where there was another coin imprint printed on top of it. So it's not gonna be, that's tough to see through there. Yeah, it's just tough to see. Anyhow, but it's definitely a coin. There it is, a little better that way. I am not for sure what that would have been, because the nickels, all the nickels are basically flat on the edges. So I'm very curious of what that might have been. And then two, it looks like it was a smaller coin that was actually on top of it, possibly. Probably a dime. But you can see the reeded edge there from that one side. Really curious of what this was. Like I say, I'm really blown away of how that lamination there is there, and then there's America stamped backwards on it. And then there's another A actually. Well, that might, probably just more or less lamination there. Anyhow, that's a really cool find. Heart rate's pumping because that's pretty cool actually. That's a really cool find. Definitely something I wanted to find in one of the boxes. And anyhow, I haven't found very much other than that. I mean, you got a half a box down, and I've only found 150s. There's a couple of 60s there that are in really good shape. I need to look through my album and see if I need to upgrade, and definitely look to see if there's any stairs on these. But I pulled out a 66, a 64, and then just a 77D and a 68D that I need to check and see if I need to upgrade those. But anyhow, that right there is a really awesome find. All right, bring it back in when I find something else. All right, so I eased through a few more rolls, and I pulled out a couple more. The 40 of 42. I also have a 42 or 40S, and then this 1966 here, which is in. It almost looks like it was proof. Turn on the back side of it. It's got majority of the stairs there, except for a little bit of top right of the edge. And I looked these up to see if there was a mint mark error to where they didn't put one on there, and it might have been proof and it's a special variety, but actually this is a SMS. It's a special mint 1966. So definitely pretty cool that I found that into the box. I don't have a whole lot of 1966s, definitely out of a mint set. But anyhow, now this one right here, let me pull it back off the scope. This is going to be a 1940 Decent condition. Got a little wear on the top side of the head up this way. But then it's going to be an S. Little wear on it, but I don't get a whole lot of 1940Ss. So I looked it up on PCGS and then Variety Vista to see if there was anything going on with that S. And I had to get the scope down a little ways just to be able to see it. So there is an S over S RPM. And you can probably tell at the bottom side of the S here, there's a little bit of something hanging out. And I've tried scoping it. I don't really want to, I mean, I guess in this condition, I can put a cotton swab or something like that to it to see if I can clean it off. But basically what I see there, it's really not smushed off the top side of the S itself, you know, like molded down. Pretty much that's where the S is sitting at on there. So it looks like it's got a little extra metal on the bottom side of it. It's possibly that this is actually an S over S 1940S, which is pretty cool to have another variety out of the box too. So I'm gonna do a little more research on it and see if I get somebody else to take a quick glance at it. But I definitely want to keep it if it's that 1940S variety. I definitely, like I say, I don't have one of these. Anyhow, but as I mentioned too, I got a 1942. It's going to be the Type 1. It doesn't have the P on top of the Monticello building for the silver content one. Cool, cool. All right, let's keep moving. Okay, I'm down to 8 more rolls in the box, and I've got a few more finds here. Now, a second ago, I showed you I had that one 1966 there that was at SMS. And then I'm pretty sure this is going to be another one. I found it just a couple rolls afterwards. It's a little bit of proof like on there. Anyhow, I got a nice 1968, a nice 1987, but the last roll that I just did, found a proof in there. 1990S. So I'm just thinking this is possibly somebody's dump here. I mean, because I've done 40 or 50 of those boxes, and I've never found more than 5 or 6 nice, you know, coins and everything from a box. So I'm pretty sure it's got to be someone's dump. I mean, to have that too. See, I'm thinking that's a die clash and lamination error. So lamination error is going to be right above, I get it, right above the Monticello building there. If you look right above that, the America is backwards, and it's got another little stamp right in the middle of E Pluribus going around. It's like a crescent stamp there. And then on the front edge of it, it's got a reeded stamped edge. Sorry, I'm shaking a little bit. Anyways, it's got a reeded stamped edge there. So whenever without it being in the case earlier, I took a dime and I set the dime directly on top of that, because a dime is reeded. And just the way it sits, how it sits in there, it looks like it was a dime smushed. And on the back side of it, it's just hard to tell, but I'm curious if this was actually hit with like a dime planchet. Like this is actually a joke coin, you know, they would have thrown away or got rid of. If I can hold on to it. But we got rid of, but anyhow, kept it in some kind of circulation. I don't know. Awkward thought. Anyhow. 8 more rolls. All right, well, I got through that first box there. I'm glad I got a second one, but got a few more finds. Another 1966, which is probably the best of them all. Really good condition, so that makes 3 66s there. This is 1, 2, 3, and then I got a 67, the same thing. I'm not for sure if 67 was in the SMS. I gotta check that out. I got 2 more 40s, which got a 1940p and then a 1948, and then got 3 more 50s there. So I'm definitely gonna check those for varieties. As I mentioned, usually I would just take all the variety coins out, set them off to the side, and I'll look through them all. Plus I'm gonna also look through these up here that I think might upgrade in the album. And I will bring you back in. But if I don't have any upgrades and there's no varieties on here, I'll just go ahead and open this box up and then bring you back in. All right, cracked the second box. About 8 rolls in, looks like. I haven't had much luck in the first 8, which ain't too terribly bad. But I've got a 48 and a 56 here. I also pulled a really nice 1994. Hard to tell, but it's got a little bit of blue toning on it. I don't know if I can get it in the right, but I'm not sure what that is. I've got a couple of them. You can see a slight hint of it there. I've got a couple of these that are like blue tinted. Not sure exactly what it is. Probably just the grease on it. But anyhow, this right here is one of the more bucket listers I'm looking for. It's going to be the speared bison, and I guess the reason why I'm bringing you in on this one here, because man, it was such a good condition, especially coming out of a roll. Really good condition, and I literally sat for 2-3 minutes with the scope, with my scope, with the microscope there, and then through the camera, and trying to look at it, see if I can find anything on it, because it's definitely been a prime example if I'd had a nice little die crack going down the back of the bison there to get that speared bison. Definitely one of the varieties I am looking for, or error coins you would say, that I'm looking for. But like I say, high up on the bucket list. Anyhow, all right, let's keep searching. Now, if I was confusing you on the last bit there, this 2005 bison that I had, the Philadelphia, was actually just a nice coin. It really didn't have any spear or anything on it. Anyhow, I'm about down to 10 rolls in the box here. I do have a couple of other finds. I think I got 3 of the 50s and another 40 there, but I also have picked up a Canadian cent. 1989, 18, yeah. Anyhow, but just showing me what I got so far. Like I said, nothing new, just a few more 50s, another 40, that Canadian there, and then 10 more rolls left. All right, well, I knocked out that second box there, so I was able to find a couple more 50s, and I think I picked up another 1940. I want to say it's Philadelphia, if I can get it spun over. Philadelphia, as you can see. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and check these and see if there's any variety going on with anything, and see if I need any upgrades, and I will bring you right back in. All right, well, I'll bring you in for a wrap up. And so the first box that we had all of the 50s and 40s coins that we had in there. We did have and I'm gonna case it up as is. I need to get it checked out further, but I'm pretty sure that's a 1940 S over S. Like I mentioned, the S on the bottom side there looked like it had a little more metal hanging off, and it looked like it was a different S tail on the end of it. So I definitely have to check it to see, but I want to keep it in a casing just in case. And then that die clash, I want to say die clash might be different. I might be just calling it wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and write it up as is, and take it up to someone and let them look at it. Hopefully I can get a couple of folks to let me know what it might be. Definitely my first, and like I said, definitely would be awesome if it was a die clash. Seen a bunch of them, really wanted one. Then that 1990 S proof that came out of that first box also. I did get a, let's see, a 1939 out of that first box, and I already checked it on the back for any of the doubling. There's enough, just a Philly, so checked it for any doubling, anything on the back end of it. And then this, well, if I can get it up, this 1959 had quite a bit of, I want to say, die deterioration on the back of it, which I just use these for more than just basically just examples, more or less, when I meet my friends and whatnot, to show them what die deterioration pretty much is. Anyways, now these 3, that's the 1994 that's got the bluish toning. 1961, good shape. Need to check and see what my 61s look like. I mean, I don't think all of the steps were there when I looked at it, but majority in the middle were there. So anyhow, got a Canadian. This is all the 50s, all the 40s that were on there. And then these here are the ones, and actually there was 4 of the 1966s that I had one that was stacked up to the possible upgrader, but it needed to bring down here. So anyhow, That's a really good hunt. If you would, please leave me a comment on what you think this might be exactly. I'm always down for comments, and I'll definitely comment back. But I'm pretty curious of what you folks out there think it might be. Anyhow, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Y'all have a great day.